There was a fire, and I immediately tried to use this fire hydrant to put it out, but I couldn't get the hose to connect at all. I couldn't believe it wouldn't connect. I have no idea how such a substandard fire hydrant passed inspection, allowing people to move into the building like that. Because it was broken, I couldn't put out the fire right away. The fire department arrived, but they couldn't connect the hose either. I don't know how this firefighting equipment passed the acceptance check or how they could hand over the building like this. Because of the poor quality of the firefighting equipment, he couldn't put out the fire immediately. During this time, his mother was trapped in the blaze, and because a rescue was impossible, she tragically suffocated to death in her own home. They should pay the price for just warming their seats and not doing their job, leading to this tragedy happening to me. In the video, the man seeking justice in front of the camera is a family member of a victim from the recent Guiyang apartment complex fire. His mother had died in the fire. This man now has a head of gray hair. It's hard to believe that just a day before his hair was still black and he was preparing for Chinese New Year celebrations with his mother at home. Last June, a sudden fire in Changsha apartment complex caused by a lack of water in the fire hydrants led to a trapped woman breaking down in tears. Yet half a year later, similar incidents continue to occur across mainland China, sparking online discussions and concerns about the reliability of the country's firefighting facilities. In the same month of January, another heartbreaking incident occurred in Fangcheng County, Henan Province, at the elite school student dormitory. On the night of January 19th, a fire broke out at the school in Dushu town's Yanshanpu village, resulting in 13 deaths and 4 injuries, nearly all of whom were 9-year-old third-grade students. This fire shattered 13 families, with parents of the deceased students breaking down in tears upon hearing the devastating news. Some parents in interviews have stated their determination to uncover the truth behind the incident. My kid was such a hard worker. I just can't accept his passing. I just can't. We were about to transfer him to my older child's school next semester, just a few days away, and then this happened. Parents of the students who perished in the fire revealed in an interview with Chinese media the poor learning and living conditions at the school, suggesting these may have contributed to the tragedy. It's a private school, only one class for the 3rd grade, over 60 people, and the boys' dormitory has only one door. We saw it when we were delivering luggage and making the bed for our child. I know what the school looks like at the start of every term. As for the cause of the accident, Chinese officials have not provided a clear conclusion, but media reports initially suspect that a heater may have sparked the fire. Details revealed about the fire raise many questions. Reports indicate that the dormitory was equipped with heating and cooling air conditioning, raising the question of why electric heaters were needed if air conditioning was available, possibly indicating inadequate heating. With 14 or 15 boys living in the dormitory, the outcome of 13 dead and 1 injured from the fire is perplexing. How is it possible that not a single child managed to escape? Were there issues with blocked safety exits? If the tragedy was indeed caused by inadequate fire safety measures, then it was not a natural disaster but a man-made one. In comparison, the fire in Xinyu, Jiangxi, which resulted in 39 deaths and 9 injuries, adds another layer of concern. On January 24th, a fire broke out in a commercial building in the downtown area of Xinyu, Jiangxi, where cold storage facilities were being constructed in the basement. And the fire originated from this area where unauthorized work was being conducted. The vicinity of the fire included internet cafes and supermarkets, with chess rooms, trading centers, and hotels above, making the densely populated location prone to significant casualties. Footage from the scene showed students escaping. The economic loss was extensive. The internet cafe next to where the fire broke out was fine because everyone was evacuated. The main issue was the training center inside. The fire started in the basement of the internet cafe, then spread to the 2nd floor, blocking the stairway. The training center had no escape routes, so the trapped people had to climb down a ladder, dozens of them, all trapped while attending a class. As the video suggests, the lack of fire safety equipment and escape routes contributed to this tragedy. This was a common factor in the 3 incidents mentioned. It is okay when there is no emergency, but if a fire breaks out, it will be deadly. These superficial safety measures, merely for show, have become a fatal trap for the Chinese people. January has been a suffocating start to the year for China, not only because of these free fire incidents. In just about a month, over 30 fire and explosion accidents occurred across the country, indicating that large-scale fires and explosions are happening almost daily since January. Whoa, what a huge mushroom cloud! It's an explosion! On February 1st, 2024, in the early hours, a massive explosion occurred at an energy and chemical base in Ningdong Town, Lingwu City in Ningxia. The explosion sent a huge mushroom cloud into the sky. It was captured by nearby residents, with some even recording the drifting embers. It was a terrifying sight. This chemical base, one of China's largest coal-to-liquid and coal-based olefin production and processing centers, appeared to have suffered significant damage from the explosion. Reports stated the explosion was controlled within half an hour, resulting in 2 injuries and some economic loss. Public opinion has expressed skepticism about the official version of events, with many questioning how such a large explosion, comparable to a nuclear blast and occurring at a chemical plant, could result in no fatalities. How lucky can one get? The scale of the explosion, captured in videos as massive and fiery, combined with the lack of official explanation regarding the cause and potential toxic gas leaks, has fueled speculation and concern over the incident. The explosion in Heze City, Shandong Province, also caused a stir. On January 20th, an abandoned grain warehouse in Zhuancheng County, Heze City, Shandong Province, suddenly exploded. Videos were shared online capturing the shock and exclamations of nearby residents. Quote, "It exploded, it exploded." Locals described the explosion's shockwaves as resembling an earthquake. The explosion generated a massive shockwave, shattering the windows of nearby villagers' homes, leaving the scene in complete disarray. The authorities swiftly issued a statement in the early hours following the incident, stating that the explosion occurred in a grain warehouse and that the cause of the fire was under investigation. The fire was extinguished within an hour. 2 injured individuals were found at the scene and taken to the hospital, with the casualty count reported as 1 dead and 1 injured. However, official reports were met with outrage online, with local villagers accusing the authorities of lying. Rumors circulated that the site was not a grain warehouse but a secret chemical plant. They argued that a grain warehouse could only catch fire, not explode, unless prohibited items stored within caused the accident. Videos shot by villagers showed the devastating aftermath of the explosion, suggesting the factory was leveled and the surrounding villages were significantly affected. This gave credibility to public speculation. A netizen living near the site said, quote, "My house, 300 meters from the explosion site, was completely destroyed." Another villager claimed that chunks of flesh and bone fell in their village after the explosion, suggesting all the factory workers might have been killed, thus questioning the accuracy of the official casualty figures. Fujian's Fuzhou also witnessed 2 simultaneous fires. Whoa, it exploded. It's terrible. It's all over. The fire is getting bigger and the fire truck has arrived. The fire is growing. Footage showed a major fire at a printing factory in Fuzhou, Fujian, leaving only the structure behind. The worst affected was a restaurant, with its interior and furniture completely burnt down, but the cause of the fire remains unclear. At the same time, a fire broke out in the Changshan district of Fuzhou. It occurred on the 2nd floor of a residential building, with witnesses reporting roof tiles falling due to the blaze. A sudden fire also occurred in Hefei's Jiahai industrial city, but the casualty situation remains unclear. The time was around 12 noon on January 25th. The reason was that this industrial park had illegally stored too much stuff, all kinds of things. A warehouse in Zhumadian, Henan, caught fire on January 28th. According to online leaks, the fire that started at noon was not extinguished until 3 p.m., indicating a large-scale blaze. Like previous incidents, there was no official explanation for the cause of the fire. Now we turn to electric vehicles. Free spontaneous combustion incidents of cars within a month have piqued concerns over the safety of electric vehicles. An overseas information leak showed a man in China escaping a self-igniting white domestic electric car, luckily making it out alive but with severe burns, rendering his face unrecognizable. In Qingdao, Shandong Province, a sudden fire at a parking lot on Liaoning Road number 63 left about 10 buses burned down to their frames. Viral videos showed the fire spreading rapidly, with thick smoke billowing into the sky, covering the nearby area in black smoke. The incident, occurring close to the local subway line too, briefly impacted residents' commute. Many speculated that the fire was caused by the charging of new energy vehicles, noting fortunately that the burned buses were already decommissioned, thus not resulting in significant losses. On January 18th, an electric car caught fire while charging in Jiapu town, quickly climbing the ranks of Baidu's trending search list. The vehicle involved was a Xiaoping brand electric car. Footage showed significant flames which were extinguished in about 10 minutes, leaving the car reduced to a skeleton. Fortunately, there were no casualties as the car was unoccupied at the time. Public opinion suggests that labeling these vehicles as, quote, new energy cars makes them appear advanced, yet they're essentially just four-wheeled electric vehicles with technology not much more sophisticated than two-wheeled electric bikes. Many people noted that this was not the first instance of a Xiaoping car self-igniting, pointing out the inherent risks with lithium batteries. Knowing these risks, yet continuing to utilize and market lithium batteries for profit has been likened to the irresponsible practice of selling buildings without adequate fire safety measures, leading to loss of life in fires. Many have expressed their thoughts on the widespread fires across China, with one comment noting, quote, one after another, fires have broken out in Huangdao, Shaanxi, Henan, Jiangxi, Jinan, Hangzhou, Shaanxi, Wuzhou, Suzhou, Linyi, Qingdao, Yan'an, Hebei, Fuzhou, Fujian, and Hefei. It's too much of a coincidence that so many places are catching fire simultaneously. We need to pay attention. Another added, quote, not just those. Chengdu and Luoyang also had new fires yesterday, on the 25th of January, with fires springing up everywhere. Another comment said, quote, on January 29th, a fire in Inner Mongolia's Hohhot resulted in 4 deaths and 4 injuries, which is really eerie. In Chinese, the pronunciation for number 4 is synonymous with death. Speculation abounds that most of these fires involve factories, warehouses, and chemical plants. There are rumors for possible ulterior motives. Some suggest these fires may be a cover for financial irregularities such as tax evasion or misappropriation of goods and food stored in warehouses, thus orchestrating a fire to hide evidence. This could be an explanation for large fires with no casualties. Hu Anxiong, a senior commander at China's National Fire and Rescue Bureau, analyzed the recent spate of fires at the beginning of the year. He pointed out that most fire scenes lacked adequate emergency exits, evacuation routes were blocked, and illegal security measures like anti-theft nets and billboards were installed. This would prevent effective escape. The significant casualties in the Xinyu Jiangxi fire were attributed to unqualified construction workers and the lack of effective safety measures. The fire at the elite school dormitory in Nanyang, Henan, was due to inadequate fire safety and evacuation capabilities in schools, sometimes exacerbated by management practices like installing anti-theft nets or locking doors at night, leading to dire consequences. He also noted that shops in Xinyu, Jiangxi, known as, quote, small premises, often cut costs by violating construction codes, allowing people to live and store goods inappropriately, increasing the risk of fire. Many small businesses prioritize profit over safety, leading to tragedies. In summary, who blames the occurrence of fires on a lack of solid safety culture among Chinese businesses, too much complacency, and wishful thinking? This effectively places all responsibility on the enterprises themselves. However, he did not address why small and medium enterprises would compromise safety for profit, why extensive fire inspections failed to identify blocked fire exits or damaged fire equipment, or how buildings without fire exits or equipment passed inspection. This practice is consistent with the CCP's history of obscuring the truth on matters critical to public safety and welfare, often deflecting responsibility in the event of accidents causing harm or death. Under CCP rule, counterfeit fire safety equipment is rampant. Fire extinguishers without powder and fire hydrants not connected to water pipes are not uncommon. A dedicated video details these issues extensively. Fire safety inspections and approvals in China are overseen by the Fire and Rescue Bureau under the Ministry of Emergency Management. The nature of fire safety equipment is such that the use of counterfeit or substandard products and shortcuts in construction can remain undetected unless a fire occurs. Various construction projects, such as residential buildings, commercial real estate, hospitals, schools, and other public facilities, must pass fire safety inspections and receive approval before they can be marketed or put into use. To smoothly obtain fire safety certification, many construction companies offer benefits to officials in the fire department. Direct bribery, purchasing substandard firefighting equipment from related parties, and subcontracting fire-related projects to affiliated companies are common practices. As long as fire department officials receive sufficient benefits, projects can pass fire safety approval despite poor quality fire safety equipment, including fire hydrants not connected to water pipes and other safety hazards. An inspector involved in investigating a 2007 fire safety corruption case in Shenzhen disclosed to the media that the timing of fire safety inspections and the duration allowed for rectifications directly impact the launch of real estate projects and the opening of shopping malls. Failure to pass inspection can lead to breach of contract by the construction party, financial losses for the developer due to interest payments, and lost revenue for operators. Therefore, to expedite inspection, construction companies bribe fire department officials. This allows for earlier project approval but compromises the quality and reliability of fire safety equipment. Zhang Fusheng, a former deputy director and committee member of the Fire and Rescue Bureau under the Ministry of Emergency Management, fell into corruption by accepting such bribes. An official from the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection and the National Supervisory Commission, Dong Wenbin, revealed that a businessman named Guiyang admitted to intentionally losing more than 9 million yuan to Zhang Fusheng through gambling. Whenever Guiyang sought Zhang's assistance in fire safety inspection and approval, Zhang was always willing to help. Dong Wenbin stated that Zhang's involvement meant lowering the standards for these construction and fire safety projects, potentially overlooking certain issues and hazards. During his tenure, Zhang Fusheng accepted tens of millions of yuan in bribes, and authorities found a large quantity of Mutai liquor, gold bars, jade, and gold products in his home. On June 28, 2023, the website of the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection and the National Supervisory Commission announced that Zhang engaged in power-for-money deals, exploiting his position to benefit others in job promotions and win projects, and illegally accepting a huge amount of money and other benefits. Although Zhang Fusheng has been investigated, there remain countless corrupt officials within the fire department, especially those who gained promotions through bribing Zhang. The existence of these corrupt officials leads to numerous fire safety hazards. These officials amass vast wealth and live in luxury, while behind them lie blocked fire exits, unusable fire hydrants, and the souls of people who perished in fires. Some summarize the situation by saying, quote, "The CCP is the fundamental cause of profound disasters for the Chinese people."